Why should I be quiet? I'll always speak out if I'm being treated unfairly. You know, I really thought you would support me. Okay, so I think we can just get started already. I have started broadcasting on YouTube, and I'm going to post the video, the link to the YouTube page here, and also on the group. So today, usually we have monthly webinar on the Change Makers group. And unfortunately, okay, so I think we can just get started already. I have started broadcasting on YouTube, and I'm going to put the video, the link to the YouTube page here, and also on the group. So today, usually we and unfortunately, okay, so I think we can just get started already. I have started broadcasting on YouTube, and I'm going to put the video, the link to the YouTube page here, and also on the group. So today, usually we and unfortunately, okay, so I think we can just get started already. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Is somebody recording me? Today, and unfortunately, it was my fault. My responsibility. I think when you read one, you help me out in those pages. Could you come here? Hello. Okay, so I think what happened was that the YouTube, I'm using the same device, and then the YouTube video was now colliding with my own audio here. Please, let's mute ourselves. Let's mute our microphone so that some of us are watching television. Maybe I need to mute everybody. Okay, please. Thank you. So today, like as I was saying, we do have monthly webinar, but for this year, we've not had any. And this is the first ever for this year, 2024. And I'm so excited about it already. And the reason why I'm so excited about it is that this is just like they are telling us we are Nigerians, we should buy in Nigeria, we should buy from ourselves. So this is change makers. We are change makers, and we are learning from ourselves. It's not like we are bringing from, you know, another platform. We have teachers, we have educators with substance, we have those that have research. I mean, all of us, it's just a matter of people willing to share. And I'm so excited today to have a wonderful speaker. Yeah, that she's passionate about something that I love also. She's so passionate about mathematics, and then she's willing to, you know, talk to us on the math mindset, that's empowering math success beyond numbers. She's going to be talking to us on how we can help our learners. Yes, we are mathematicians. We can also add, impact others in case there's something we want to add. Our contributions are also going to be welcome. So today, we'll discover how to develop a positive math mindset. My name is Shola Sojiva. That's what I call myself. And that Sojibra is my mathematics name. Shola plus algebra gave me Sojibra. So you know that I'm also passionate about mathematics. So she's going to be telling us how to help our learners develop a positive mindset today, strategies to overcome math anxiety, and then real life application. You wonder why some people say they don't like math, but bring money their way. If it's their money, they will know how to calculate it, and they will calculate it well. So it is because sometimes we educators too don't help them connect the dots, connect what they learn in the class to real life. So she's going to be sharing more light on how we can do that, and tips for fostering a love for math in our learners and ourselves. So our speaker today is no other person than our Honorable Onyeka Ogunmola. She is a passionate educator and math enthusiast dedicated to making math accessible and enjoyable for everyone. With years of experience and a unique approach, Onyeka has empowered many to see math as a tool for success. You can also follow her on her Instagram page where she also talks about mathematics. So, Mrs. Ogunmola, over to you. I have dropped the mic for you. You're welcome. Please, let's give her flowers. You're welcome.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's a privilege to be on this platform, and I really was excited when I got to learn that this I'm the first person to do this presentation for the year. Like, this is the first webinar for the year for this platform. So I count it a privilege to actually be here this evening. So today I want to take us on a journey through the world of mathematics. And I know a lot of us are fantastic, amazing teachers. I'm not coming here to teach you. I'm not coming here to tell you what to teach, because I know you've been doing this thing for a very long time and I know you know your onion. But if there is something that will keep on, being a big question mark for us, is the fact that a lot of students are still failing maths. A lot of students are still telling you that that one subject they do not like is maths. And I can tell you this, even as, would I say, as low as the elementary level, yes, I still have students who would confidently tell you that maths is not for them, or they are not for maths. Now, if you come across students who are struggling in one or two subjects, maybe 1, 2, 3 subjects, chances are one of the subjects is maths. If you agree with me, please drop an emoji for me to know that you agree with what I just said. If you have students who are going through challenges in 1, 2, 3 subjects, chances are one of them is maths. And I've been teaching this math for quite a number of years. And I'm sure compared to some of us on this platform, some of us here in today's meeting, you've been teaching it way back, further than perhaps when I was still in secondary school. So today, let us see what exactly is the problem and how do we prefer solution. Now, in trying to prefer the solution, over the years, I have come to understand that if we really want students to understand this math, we want them to learn it, we want them to love it, we want them to apply it. We really need to go beyond just numbers and calculation. There is more to math than just calculation, than just numbers. I can confidently say this because it's something I have done. I have used this strategy and it keeps giving me excellent results every time I use it. So why not share it with the rest of us? Now, if we really want students to understand this maths, we need to think outside the box. We've been doing the regular thing, the way we were taught the maths, we were teaching our children that same maths. We can't be doing the same thing and expecting a different result. No, many of us, the way we were taught, if we teach our students that same way, trust me, we're disservicing them. We're not giving them value for what they came to school for. So I've been able to put together a very short clip or slides that I would want to share with each and every one of us while I talk. So I don't just do talk. So if you permit me, ma'am, I would love to share my screen. I would love to share my screen. So while I wait to share my screen, I would want to ask us a question. While we were in secondary school, primary school, or the university, tell me about one or two things about your math teachers. You can drop it in the comment section. Something nice, something good, something ugly about your math experience. Tell me a little bit about your math experience. Was it good, bad, or ugly? Just drop in the comment section. Good, bad, or ugly. What was your experience like? Let us know. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. I'm waiting to be able to share. Another person is saying bad. Was it the subject or the teacher? Let's get to know. Was it the subject or the teacher? Or was it you? Say the truth. Was it the subject, the teacher, or was it you? What made you have that bad experience? Why are you tagging it? The teacher. Someone is saying the teacher. Okay. Oh, someone said my high school teacher used to say mathematics doesn't like me face. So oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I like that. I like that. So let me see. I should be able to share. Hello, ma'am. Another person is saying this. Hello, ma'am. You permit me to share my screen. Wow. Okay, so up until when I'm able to share my screen, let us establish one truth, one fact here, that the ultimate goal of every learning experience, the ultimate goal of every teaching and learning experience for both the teacher and the student is success. Do you agree with that? That the ultimate goal of every learning experience or every teaching experience for both the student and the teacher is success. And that means that no student learns to fail and no teacher teaches to fail. No math student learns maths for the sole purpose of failing, and no math teacher teaches the subject maths for the purpose of having the students fail. If we understand this, it will guide us in every other thing we're going to say. Now, having said that, since we all agree that we have come into the classroom to learn and to succeed, then it means that if there is anything that is not giving us that particular, expectation, that is not helping us achieve that particular expectation, we do not think it is just the subject. We think it is now a thing of the mind. Since the teacher and the student both agree they want to succeed, so now what exactly is the problem? I think it's now a thing of the mind. That shows that the mindset plays a crucial role in determining the overall outcome of the learning experience. Since we have all agreed that we are here to succeed, how come we're not succeeding? Something is happening. So if you think that the mindset, the way you perceive mathematics, the way the teacher perceives subject matter.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so this is what I'm just going to do. Let me make you the host. I hope it will not stop what I'm recording, because I don't really understand what's happening. You should be able to share from your end with the setting that I have here. So let me just
fantastic.
And you give it back when you're done.
All right. So the mindset plays a crucial role. Okay, let me try to share now.
Then I'm in the meeting. I'm in the meeting.
Okay. All right, so I will be sharing this now. So at first we said we wanted to establish the ultimate goal. And we said that the ultimate goal of every teaching and learning experience for students is success. We are all in the class to teach, to learn, and to succeed. And now nobody actually came into the class to fail, and nobody came into the class, to record failure. And having said that, since we all agree that it's the same thing we are all aiming for, why then are we not getting it? Why are the students not understanding the way the teacher is teaching? It is the mindset. Now, you may be wondering why the mindset. Is it not just for the students to read, understand, calculate, maybe memorize some formulas? No. If the child's mind is not ready to learn, there is nothing you're going to force into that brain. And if the teacher also has a mindset that these children are not going to learn anything, no matter what I do, then the teacher will not also deliver. So this mindset we're going to talk about today is not only how it affects the children, it is also how the teacher, perceives the subject math. So the math mindset, it's a mental attitude that shapes how we perceive, understand, interpret, and apply mathematics. We all know that math can be complex. Yes, it is. We're not going to try to garnish it. Math is complex. Many a times it can be very abstract. And it is also cumulative, meaning that it builds upon topics. All the topics are interconnected. We can't just isolate any topic. Now, having said that, how do you, as a teacher, how do you perceive the subject math? Are you that type of teacher who, while you were growing up, you were also scared of the subject matter? So you feel it's a normal thing that students should just be, math is hard. You come into the classroom, you sell that fear to students that math is hard. It's not easy. You have to study. Before you motivate them, you're already discouraging them. You're selling the idea that math is hard. You had a terrible experience, so you're also selling that idea. You think the harder, the better. Are you that type of teacher who has that mindset? Teachers like that, they weaponize the subject. They make it feel as if you don't know math, you don't know anything. Or if you don't know a particular concept, a particular skill in math, you might not be able to know the rest. So even before the child is able to move on to the next, the beginning, the child is already failing. So this mindset actually affects the teachers too. Now for the student already maybe must have heard from somewhere that this particular teacher is very, very wicked. I don't know, those days when they want to discipline a child, they'll just tell the child, I'm going to send you to the math teacher. It's high time we drop that as math teachers. It's high time we'll drop that. If it's a badge, let's drop it. That the teacher that flogs the most is the math teacher. The most wicked is, I won't use the word discipline, the most wicked teacher in the school is the math teacher. The teacher that comes and exudes tension and pressure in the classroom is the math teacher. If it used to be a badge of honor for some teachers that I'm sure you must have experienced them, I don't want to believe that such teachers exist. I really don't want to believe that anymore in this 21st century. But I'm sure that you and I actually experience such teachers. And if you eventually at a certain time experience such teacher, the truth is, it's really going to affect you as a teacher. It's going to affect you as a teacher if you do not change your mindset. If all you keep selling to your children is the complex nature of math, the abstract nature of math, the children will not be able to, they won't get their mind ready. They need to get their mind ready. Their minds need to be opened up. Now, if their minds are not opened up, guess what's going to happen? You have just laid a solid foundation for math anxiety. You have just laid a solid foundation as a teacher for math anxiety. Even if you're a parent, you keep telling your children that, oh, while I was in school, math was very difficult for me, blah, blah, blah. And you keep selling this idea. You have also laid a solid foundation for math anxiety. And math anxiety is not a good place for a child to start learning math. I'm saying this because it is happening at the elementary level. So now you may want to understand what exactly is math anxiety. It is a feeling of tension. Have you ever had that teacher that comes into the classroom and everyone is just tensed? Even if whether it's because of the assignment you didn't do. And this assignment you didn't do, it's probably because you did not understand it. And this teacher will not understand that you actually did not understand that assignment. The teacher is already disciplining you before even listening to you. All of these things build up, into math anxiety. It is a feeling of tension, apprehension, or fear that interferes with one's ability to perform mathematical tasks. You just believe that it is hard. You just believe that I cannot do it. You just believe that even if I do it and I scale through, it is just, let my people go. All of these things put together is what we call math anxiety. And a lot of children are going through this. In fact, it has, for some, I would want to say that it has developed from math anxiety into trauma. Now, when they see the subject, they don't even want to have anything to do with the subject math. Many of us as teachers go back to school on Monday. Just throw that question to your students. If there is one subject that should be taken out of the curriculum or the scheme of work, what subject will that be? If there is one subject you don't want to have anything to do again with when you leave secondary school, what subject will that be? you'll find out that a lot of students will readily want to drop the subject maths. They will readily want to drop the subject maths. How many students do you find nowadays even going ahead to do further maths? And they will tell you, I've not even survived maths, and you're talking about further maths. Is that not a subject? The subject is meant to be learned and not to be feared. So we really need to understand that there is something called math anxiety, and that a lot of students are scared of the subject, and they are scared of the teacher. A lot of students are scared of the subject. Sometimes they may be scared of the teacher. So if you are that teacher that you are actually very, very fantastic, the student may not be scared of you, but they may be scared of the subject. If you're that teacher that, children like you in the classroom when you come into the classroom, and still they like the subject matter, but they are still not doing well, perhaps something is wrong with your teaching style, maybe the way you are teaching it. So we may also want to now understand that some suffering from negative experiences and trauma, they bring it into the classroom. Now, as a teacher, it is important that you identify this problem. Don't say, should they be scared of maths? Is there something called math anxiety? Or we are just tagging it and giving it a big name, an excuse for children to, we're just trying to give it a name. Nowadays, I learned that we give a lot of things there. When children are misbehaving in the class, we call it an ADHD. We do all, no. It's true. Some children are just like that. It's not a name, it's not a logo, it's not a badge, it's not an acronym. Math anxiety is real. If you still agree with me that the ultimate goal is success, then math anxiety should not be given a place in your classroom. It should not be given a place in a room in your classroom at all. So now you may be wondering, this math anxiety, what are the things that actually causes it? I'm sure from all that I have been saying, perhaps even if I don't break them into 1, 2, 3, 4, you must have been able to pick out 1 or 2 things that you could actually say, yes, these are the causes of math anxiety for some children in your class or for you as a teacher. So we want to know, how do you overcome math anxiety? How do you help your children overcome math anxiety? So what are the things you're going to do as a teacher? For you as a teacher, you're going to prioritize connection. You're going to prioritize connection. See, students need to know that you care before they care about what you're teaching. They need to know that you're going to listen to them before they even listen to you. If you cannot connect with these children, you will not be able to deliver whatever it is you're teaching. You're just going to be sitting down there looking at you and waiting for the next teacher to come in. And they will just look for a way to manipulate whatever it is they want to give to you and just allow you. You need to learn to prioritize connection over curriculum. Touch the heart of the children. Know what is going on. Know, how they feel about the subject matter. Listen to them. A lot of time, our talking time as teacher in the classroom, we take so much time doing the talking because we feel that we are the master in the classroom. No, there is actually not just one teacher in the classroom. You may be the lead teacher, but you're also learning from the students how best to teach them. So you need to learn to touch the heart of this student before you touch the board, touch the book, or touch any other thing. Learn to prioritize connection before curriculum. These children will listen to you. I do this a lot of time. I want to know what's going on. Why are you not understanding this subject? Have you learned it before? Okay, what exactly was the problem? At what point did you lose track? You need to communicate with them. Don't just come into the class and just assume that, we want to start afresh. No, don't approach maths that way. Connect with your student. Don't say what's there. You need to connect. If learning must take place, meaningful learning must take place, you need to connect. And when you learn to connect, embrace deep conceptual understanding. Prioritize comprehension. They need to understand the very core of what you're teaching them. Prioritize that comprehension over competition, over asking questions, in the classroom, setting assignments, scoring, grading them, and, the 5/10, the 10/10. No. Before you get to that stage, conceptual understanding. Do they understand it to the point of application? Do they understand it to the point that they flow in the procedure? Do they understand it to the point that they can do this thing independently without you? that is when you can now bring in the classwork. That is when you can now bring in the assignment, the test, the examinations, the competitions. You need to understand that comprehension, deep comprehension needs to take place. Also, when you are teaching them and you're expecting them to comprehend, it's not going to come like magic. You need to encourage them to practice gradually but consistently. I used to have a student in my class that Bella, I used to tell her, you don't have to do everything. You know, I looked for different methods to teach this particular group until I got to realize, that was years back, until I got to realize that she just couldn't take in everything at the same time. You teach one thing right now, Bella gets it right. You add another thing on it, she misses it. So you can't even add a third. So what I just gave her a phrase, then I always tell her, Bella, you know what? You don't have to do everything, but make sure you're doing something, and whatever it is you're doing, make sure you're doing it right. So encourage them to practice gradually but consistently. It's not about memorizing all the formulas. No, it's not always about memorizing all of the formulas. And when the students come into the classroom, don't forget, they didn't drop out of space. They're actually coming from another class, a previous class, or whatever it is you're teaching them. Don't think that you're the one that is going to teach them the beginning and the end of that thing. No, it doesn't work that way. That's one thing I like about mathematics. The concepts, they stretch them across various classes. So numeration is going all the way from early years up until grade 6. In fact, sometimes up until middle school, you're still working on numeration. So leverage on prior knowledge. There must be something they know. Know what they know to teach them what you want them to know. Don't just come and think that they are dropping on you fresh. No. Children like it when they know that you know that they know something. And that thing that they know, you acknowledge that they know it, and then you build upon it. Don't just come in and just, the children are expecting that you're going to go from a particular level, then you just go very, very high above, and the children are lost even before you start. Another thing is never weaponize your expertise to drive in knowledge. Don't threaten them. A lot of us were threatened. I don't know. This thing I'm saying right now, it may not be really working right now in maybe some private schools because everybody's now adjusting. You can't just do whatever it is you like nowadays. Thank God for that. But there are still some schools I know, and I'm sure you also know. So even if this thing I'm about to say now does not resonate with you because you're not doing it, there are teachers out there that are still doing it, that feel that if they show this subject as a very difficult and tough subject and also show themselves as a very tough person, children fear you, and then you think that that is the best way to drive in knowledge and have them deliver. You'll be shocked that as soon as they leave your class, they don't just leave, they leave the subject for you. They don't just leave you, they leave the subject. And even if I don't know so much about leadership, I know leadership is influence. It means you have not been able to influence that child. A part of you is not in that child. Any child that passes through you, needs a part of you also inside of them, passing through them. Let them be able to say, oh, I actually was able to do this thing because of Mr. Komolafe, or because of Mrs. Ogumola or something. So don't weaponize your expertise and thinking that that's what's going to help you drive knowledge in. The fear of a maths teacher is the beginning of maths success. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And another thing, there are a whole lot of things. If you know, we are all here to learn. If you know that you also have some method that you have used to help students overcome this math anxiety, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. Now, the last one I'm going to give here is the one thing I love to do a lot, is to be more than a teacher that goes to the board to just teach. Provide support, provide mentorship, be more than a teacher, be a role model. If you've not taught math to the extent that some children in your class will tell you, Ma, I'm going to study math because of you. Oh, Ma, you're the reason I'm going to study math. Or Ma, you're the reason I was able to help my younger ones in their mathematics. And parents are saying, oh, you're the reason my child now is a math pro. Or then it means that you've not done anything. You're just a teacher. You are just a teacher. So be more than a teacher. Provide support, provide mentorship. Don't just start it. Guide them through. See them to the end. Make it a lifestyle. Teach them that success, not just maths. In maths, whatever the way you strategize you know, being able to provide solutions to a complex subject like math, it will help the children build or live a lifestyle of analytical reasoning for all-round success. Children will know how to strategize. That's one thing. I use the knowledge of math to do so many things around me. Math kinds of like sharpens your brain extra. I always want to tell my children. So if you can solve math, you can think deep. You're a deep thinker. And then you can actually use that same skill in any other thing, any other area in life. So having said, you know, how to overcome this math anxiety, let us take a look at some common math myths. These things are very common. Many of us, it's the parents that are doing this. Many of us, is the teachers that are selling this idea. Many of us, is the students that are selling it amongst themselves. Wherever this is coming from, please let us stop the production, buying and selling of these ideas. The production, the buying and selling of these ideas, let us discourage it. That math is only for geniuses. Now, what's the definition of a genius? Everyone is a genius, and anyone can learn maths. Anyone can learn maths and improve on it with gradual but consistent. Maths is not for some special people. No, it's not for some special people. And some will even go ahead to say, oh, maths is for boys are better at maths than girls. Who said so? And that's why we see so many maths teachers. I really want so many maths teachers, even in the university, when we go to classroom, many of us in the class, we can count how many girls are in the maths department, how many girls are in the statistics department, a lot of them, how many girls are in the engineering department. It is not now that things are beginning to open up a little bit. We feel that some of these courses, some of these subjects are better done by boys and not girls. No. In fact, I'm a person that I differ on this one a lot. Some people also sell the idea that math is terrifying, it is boring, yes, we know it's complex, but it's not terrifying. We know it's abstract, but it's not boring. We know. And we also learned that math is all about memorization. We cram all the formulas, everything we cram. Now, one of the ways to, yes, when the formulas are much, you can go ahead to memorize them. But the truth is, there is a level to which you would apply some formulas that they become a part of you. I always tell my children the best way to learn formulas is to attack questions. Look for questions that will use that formula and keep practicing it until it becomes a part of you. Formulas, for example, are like methods that maybe your mom wants to prepare a pot of soup in the house. And at first, she goes to a YouTube channel and she writes down, she's watching, she's listening, and a lot of us, we do it. You want to learn a particular recipe. We go to YouTube. We watch the video, we write down the recipe. Sometimes we don't watch it once, we don't watch it twice. We watch it over and over again until we become a master at it. We don't even need to measure anymore. I used to tell my students, like some of your parents don't need to measure the amount of salt they put in the soup. It's just like magic. They just know the quantity and it's just perfect. It's because they've been doing it over time. So take a formula a day, one at a time, gradually but consistently, so that you don't think that it is all about memorization. It is not all about memorization. Some people also feel that aside from school, you cannot use maths any other place. No, we need to start teaching the children how we can actually apply maths in real life. It is not enough for us to teach the how to solve math. It's not enough for the teachers to know what to teach and how to teach. We also need to start teaching the why. The children need to know the why. I'm a kind of person that if you don't tell me why I should learn something, I lose interest easily. My curiosity level just goes down. If you don't tell me why you are teaching me something and how it's going to affect my life and how I'm going to use it to affect the life of other people, I'm going to lose interest. So we're teaching some subjects in the maths classroom. You're teaching numeration. Why are you teaching numeration? Where can a child learn apply numeration? That LCM and HCF you're teaching, where can you actually apply it in real life? Where can you apply it in real life? That quadratic equation you're teaching, where can you apply it in real life? Many a times, if you can teach the children where to apply it, when they remember this thing, it helps them retain that knowledge. It helps them retain that knowledge. You're teaching a child, introducing them to geometry. And you're telling them that you can actually use this in architectural designs, and you can, all of this. I was teaching some children in my classroom one certain time, introducing them to geometry. And I decided to introduce it the way my grade 4 teacher did then. He would tell us so many stories about, tall cities in America, tall cities in New York, Wall Street. He was always talking about Wall Street. So one day he showed us, I was like, wow. So you have all these tall buildings. Yes, that was the first time I learned skyscrapers. And he told me, you want to be able to do this. Geometry should be your best friend. I was like, oh, really? So there is maths in all of this? He said, yes. So it's not drawing. It's not just drawing. He said, no, the drawings are calculated. And some students just came around him and they wanted to hear more. This was just grade 4. Imagine that it continued in grade 5. And the grade 5 teacher I came across also told me my why. Grade 6 teacher also taught me the why. Grade 7 and up until university, they pick every topic, and they are telling you the why. Imagine how much knowledge you will retain. It's in fact, your mind might not even be able to contain all of those knowledge, because you're just able to understand what it is you're doing. So like I said, the mindset of a great teacher, this mindset we're talking about, you need to understand how to help yourself as a math teacher. What mindset do you have as a math teacher? There are some teachers that when they come into class, they look like the complex maths. They look very, very, you see them, you can tell. There was one I saw recently on Facebook, and they put a teacher with a long cane in the middle of the school, and everywhere was, you could see the students running into their various classes, and they asked, what teacher is this? What subject does he teach? And, over 100 comments on that picture, and everybody was saying, math teacher. Someone sent it to me. I was like, no, now. What if it was physics? What if it was chemistry? What if it was even literature? They were like, no, this has to be a math teacher. So your mindset is a math teacher. Step into the classroom. What is that first thing that should come to your mind if you really want to help the children in the classroom? Before I came into today's meeting, I was listening to someone in another webinar, and the lady was saying that when she gets into a class and she's going to teach 20 children, she begins to see that these 20 children, she needs to come up with 20 methods to teach them, because these 20 children will definitely learn in 20 different styles and all of that. So it just, I just reflected back on the slides I had already prepared, which says that the first thing as a math teacher that should help shaping your mindset is to understand that every student is unique and they learn differently. And just you, one person coming into the class, you will use one method to teach the 20 of them. And you expect what? Miracle signs and wonders. It doesn't work that way. And the thing there is that even as a math teacher, some of them will hold on to one method. You hold on to it. You do not make research on how that method has changed over time. We believe that the old way, the hard way, is always the best way. No, it doesn't always work that way. Try to be flexible with your teaching method. Students learn differently. You need to understand them before you teach them. You need to learn as a teacher before you teach, so that you can map out your lesson to suit their style. So some of us now might be thinking, how do I bring this into the class since the term is far gone and the children are leaving into the class? You see, today is a good day to prepare for tomorrow. Today is a good day to prepare for tomorrow. The bad thing that would happen is if you do not even prepare at all. If you do not prepare at all. So all of this that I have said, try to see what can I do differently in the class when I get to school on Monday. How do I help a child who is not learning the way others are learning? How do I structure my lesson to suit this person? Everyone needs to succeed. It's high time we start seeing every student in our class as a math question. So if you have 28 students in your class as a math teacher, you should see those 28 students as 28 questions. So if one is not doing well, that's 27 over 28 for you. And so those of us that like reaching 100%, yes, it's good. 50 over 50, 10 over 10. We set very high expectation for our students. Can you also set that high expectation for yourself? That every child in your class will leave your class a complete success. Can you score yourself the number of children in your class over the number of children that will leave your class? If you have 28, can you score yourself at the end of the term? 28 over 28. If we don't begin to see that, we will think the problem is only the children. The question we give the children. No, the children are also our own question. I was talking with a friend of mine recently, Mr. Matthew Lori. I told him something. I said, if only we would agree that the result of these children that just wrote this jam recently, that the internet went crazy over those results. In fact, I didn't post for like 2 weeks. I was scared. Like, what would they tell me as a maths teacher? Even if my students did well and all of that. If we could actually tell ourselves that those children's results are our own results, they are reflecting what we taught them and how we taught them, then maybe we will sit up more. We will do more than what we actually do. Because those children's results, they did not just learn those things, they wrote them from nowhere. They were taught, how they were taught, where they were taught, the learning environment. All of these are all factors that actually affected that results and outcome. So if we begin to understand that these students are also our questions, and so we need to learn how they want to learn, to teach them what we want to teach them, it will help us. To help us think differently. Another thing as a teacher that would help shaping your mindset is how you teach. When you teach, it is important that you teach from simple to complex. I'm not going to mince words. Math is complex. Math is, it can be abstract. It can be frustrating at some certain time. Yes. So it's important that you teach from simple to complex. Understand the subject to the core, so that at any time a child is not understanding, a student is not understanding any particular aspect, you know, if a child is doing this particular thing, you are able to tell that this is the reason this child is not doing it. There are some students that even if they are still in the middle school, one of their core problem is the number sense skills. Children that still cannot play around numbers. These are what I call them, these are elementary skills, number sense. And you find that our children still cannot understand that a decimal can be represented in fraction, can be represented in different forms, that you can have different addition strategies and all of that. They still don't understand the relationship between one operation and another and how to marry them. And now you're now just teaching the child, you're going into teaching the child a different thing entirely. It's just like pouring water into a basket. You're not going to get results. A child that is still struggling with fraction, struggling with decimals, you now want to bring the child, teaching the child another concept. You want to dive straight into algebra. And the child is just looking at you. And the child is praying that, Lord, as I go through the valley of the shadow of death, guide me through. No, let's understand the very core, the subject. Let's understand the subject to the core and be able to help our students go from some students, even if you're teaching a very complex subject in the class, if you notice that their problem is a very, you are able to identify that this is where this child is missing it. Please go back to that place where the child is missing it and take the child from there back to where you want the child to be. It might not be convenient for you as a teacher, but it will take you maybe highest 1 week to be able to match up. If not, just take a moment to think of the remaining effort you're going to put into that child. You might not really get the 100% you're expecting. You might not even get up to 70. So if we know where the child is missing it, let's help the child go gradually. And you as a teacher also teach from simple to complex. Break it down. Be flexible in your method. You don't always have to be rigid. The old way is not the only way. The hard way is not the only way. Open up. Another thing for you as a math teacher, I know you're very good at what you do. Sometimes when I speak with some of my math colleagues, they'll be like, Mrs. Oh, no. The thing is, so many of us, we feel we know the beginning and the end of something. When I mean so many of us, not just math teachers, because we are teachers. We just feel we know it all. See, as a teacher, one of our core responsibilities is to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And so you need to give yourself the opportunity to skill up. If there is something you do not know, Go and learn, collaborate to learn, make your research to learn, attend professional, training to learn, open up to learn, spend time to learn. Don't assume that I know it and this is the only way. There are more efficient ways to do certain things that we are doing right now. Thank God for technology. Thank God for AI. We're beginning to see different ways of doing things, easier ways to make children really comprehend what it is we're doing. Thank God for the use of manipulatives. Thank God for project-based learning, where we are able to think outside the box to create projects that these children can apply, real life skills into. Skill up. Don't think that, you're going to, what you know is the only thing that can help you. No, go and brush up, learn from your colleagues. If there is anything, you're finding difficult, don't rely on what I know alone and then support it with tips and tricks. There are so many tips and tricks out there. And I was talking to a particular teacher recently, and she told me she saw one on TikTok on Square and Square Root, and she was super excited. She was going to try it. So I was like, okay, try it for this. Try that this same method you want to use. Try it on this number. And she realized it did not work. And she was like, why didn't it work? I said, how would I know? You'll go up and down looking for tips and tricks. Don't you know that they have limitations? So even if while in the process of scaling up, you come across some method. How do I put it now? Check those methods, double check them, cross check them. Because when you bring it into the class and the children are not able to take it further, it becomes frustrating. And then they begin to question your expertise as a teacher. So don't just fill yourself up with any form of knowledge you find out there. Check them. Make sure the knowledge you are gaining are refined knowledge. And when you're getting them, make sure if there are limitations, you understand those limitations, you understand how to apply it, and you arm yourself with just the right set of tools. Understand that you know it, but you do not know it all. As a math teacher, understand that you know it, but you do not know it all. If I find out that you're a math teacher on this platform, I'm going to come into your DM. If I find you post anything, and I am interested in that thing, I will come into your DM. I would ask you, please prepare a material for me. If it means buying, I will buy. Teach me this thing, I want to know. Or can I invite you to teach my own math community how I do these things? I am always willing to learn. And another thing is, as a math teacher, celebrate every win. Celebrate every win, every effort of it. Don't just celebrate final results of your student. Don't be that teacher that celebrates only when they get 100%. No. Celebrate the procedure, not the final result. You should have that mindset that the procedure also matters. Every effort should be graded and appreciated, so that when you do that, the children get to know that this teacher is not a final answer teacher. This teacher will go through every procedure and scrutinize it. And if you know you're going to do that, make sure you grade appropriately. Every method that the child got right, the child should be awarded for it. The child should be celebrated. The child, when I mean celebrated, I need you to help, recognize that this child did this thing. But even if it means attaching just a score to it, the child sees that, oh, this teacher sees what I am doing, and what I am doing is relevant. That's what I mean by, celebrating every step on the way for the child. Every win is a win. Celebrate their progress, celebrate their procedure, and not just final results. If you are this type of teacher that has this mindset, trust me, teaching maths will become very easy for you. Your students relating with you and connecting with you, learning from you, will become a thing you enjoy. Coming into classroom, they look forward to. They know that this is one teacher that doesn't scare us. This is one teacher that allows us to make our mistakes and allows us to learn from those mistakes. This is one teacher that allows us to collaborate in the classroom, allow us to share, not just come into the class and display their expertise, not all just like that. They give you to also explain and express what it is that we know. If you are that type of teacher with this mindset, you will be a most sorted after maths teacher. I'm telling you, you're going to be a most sorted after maths teacher. So now that we're done with the I'm going to round up very soon. So now that you're done with the mindset of a teacher, how do you help your students cultivate the right mindset? Now that you also have the right mindset, model it. Show them that you have the right mindset. How do you do that? Readily display your enthusiasm to teach. Let them know that you're ready to teach them the maths. Let them know that you're ready to see them succeed. When you come into the class and you're even tired before coming into the class, you're like, let me just come into the class because it's a double period. Let the double period of maths be a celebration period. Let it be a joyous period in your class where children are able to see that their teacher is excited coming to class. And two, when you're teaching your maths concepts or whatever, share relatable analogies. Use relatable analogies that the children can relate to. One of the things I like to do is storytelling in the maths class. I do that a lot. Another thing is prioritize flexible concepts and procedures, over tips, tricks. Some children have access to the internet nowadays. They see all these tips and tricks. Even before you come into the class, they tell you they have alternatives. Listen to them. Alternatives are fantastic. Listen to them. Help them see, if those tricks have limitation, help them see it. If not, encourage them. Encourage them to try out alternative procedure. You think you know it all. These children, they are everywhere on TikTok, getting math tips. They are everywhere on YouTube, getting math tips and tricks. Engage in math activities that prompt logical reasonings over final results. Engage in Let your maths be project-based. Don't just teach maths and everything is calculation of the board in the book. Make it real. Make it real. Let the children think. Let them, create projects. Let them engage in projects. You're teaching statistics. Let them get information, data from the school. Teach them how to go about this thing, measure this thing, and let it be stored in the school's, data base. These children were the one that got, this information. Let them draw the graph of this thing. Let them represent it in various graphical illustration. Emphasize on accuracy, understanding over speed. Let the children know it is really not how fast you do it, but how well. Encourage collaboration in your class. This one, encourage collaboration and peer tutoring to help children have the right mindset. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to work alone. When they start working, the job of the future is not a job you work alone. You're going to need to collaborate. It's not cover your book all the time, cover your book. Yes, we know life is the real examination. Life is the real examination. Encourage collaboration, encourage peer tutoring where it is necessary, and give room for healthy challenges. Everything is not competition, everything is not do or die. You must do it. If you don't do it now and here, you will not be able to, give room for healthy challenges. Now, one last thing I want us to talk about is connecting maths to real world. And this time around, I have just 3 here. So in the comment section, I would like us to pick a math topic and connect it to real world. In the comment section, people will be reading. Pick a math topic, connect it to the real world. So here you have maths, you have money. When you're teaching students money, what are the things you can teach them when it comes to money? You can teach them budgeting, you can teach them profit and loss. You can have them, there was one I did, was not years back. You can have them have a talk shop in the school where the children do the selling. They do the buying of the products, they sell, they do the transaction, they calculate the profit, they calculate the cost price, selling price, profit and loss. In fact, I had to get a POS machine for the children then in the school. They did all of this thing. They saw how it works. It's not how many banks will allow you to bring children into the banking hall nowadays. So we practicalized it. We brought, the market into the school. And these were grade 6 students. And they did this thing and the school was like, wow. We asked parents to come into school that early morning that came to drop their children, buy 1 or 2 things from this student, pay in cash or pay with your card. And these children were able to do this thing and do it well. It is something that they had practiced. Another one is geometry. You're teaching children shapes, angles, and all of that. You need to let them know what they can do with this. You need to let them know. Another one is you're teaching distance, speed. I just picked up the elementary ones. You're teaching distance, speed. You need to help these children know that you can use this in transportation. A lot of these children are easily intrigued with fast cars nowadays, Formula 1. Yes, how do they produce this car? I was watching a documentary recently. What are the things they put into consideration when building this car? A lot of math is going into it. And these children are easily intrigued when they see all these fast cars, they see all of these things. Help them understand the maths behind so many things happening right now. We're saying maths is complex. Coding is there. Who said coding is easy? If not, there is maths in coding. But yet people are going for that coding. It's because they know the why. They are seeing the why. A lot of children are seeing what they can do with coding. Let's start teaching the why and not just the how. And we'll find that our children will be able to connect this math to real world. It will become more relevant and the knowledge will sink in more. So having said that, now we're going back to class on Monday. How do you want to start nurturing this positive mindset? So many of us, we engage in affirmations. Remember I said you need to go from simple to complex. We engage in affirmations, and as adults, it's kind of like suits us. It's very soothing. It helps us to kick off softly and land softly. All these words of encouragement, quotes, motivational talks, and all of that. That is one way you can help your students build a positive mindset. They need to believe in themselves. A lot of them need to go back to themselves to believe in themselves that they're actually knowledgeable. So words of affirmation is a very good place to start. So I'm ending the slides that I'm sharing right now with some positive math affirmation that you can share with the children in your class. You can paste it somewhere. They can even put it in front of their math book. I always have my children in front of your math book. We have our math oath. We have our math affirmation. We have set our expectation. At the back of their math book, they have some pages that have been set aside for journaling. You know, it's a beautiful experience. And you open the books of the children and you're wondering, is this math? Is this math or it's something else? Yes, it's math. Before the main calculation and the numbers, a lot of things have happened at the beginning of their book and at the back of their book. So that math stays in between and they are smashing every of their math scores. So with all that I have said, like people would say, I hope I have been able to convince you and not to confuse you that the mindset plays a huge role in empowering the overall math success of both the students and the teacher. So if you have any question, go ahead to drop in the comment section. I will try my best to answer your question. So, hello, ma'am. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Okay, this is so loving, and I mean, I can't have all of this at once. I really have to go back to it, especially what you ended with, the positive math affirmation. Like, I can think and show my work in many ways. I can solve problems without giving up. I mean, these are things that we need to tell our learners, because I really do not know why some of them do feel that, well, let me not say I really do not know why. Like, obviously, with what we have learned this evening, we can trace some of these whys to some things that we know, maybe the way we teach, maybe our own perception. And then if we trace it down, probably from our own teachers that taught us to, and the like. Mathematics was not really funny for me while I was in the primary school either. But along the line, when I got to GS3, my brother helped me. And he just told me something. He said that, do you know that mathematics is happy that you are scared of him? The numbers is happy. So anytime you say, I don't like math, it's happy that he's been able to scare you off. Just try to face it. You will see that it will be
Exactly.
You can just imagine how simple that. I'm not sure you can say that to any year 9 learner now and it makes sense. But that was it for me. Then I now made up my mind that I'm going to face this one. Let me scare it too. It has done a lot. So that was how I picked up. And while I was in the classroom, it was really, really fun. I have testimonies of parents saying that their children improved. And one of the things I learned along the way, like I mentioned before, is how can we make it interesting while they are so excited to learn. We started by using the mass name. All of the God mass name. Every set I teach have mass name that we call ourselves, you know. We made it interesting. And then we composed songs, you know, for formulas and the rest. So at the end of it all of these things that you have said made a lot of sense, because these things that really help them to overcome it as much as they were able to. And funnily, I got to see one of my learners then. She's now having a YouTube channel where she's talking about maths to people that is not difficult. You can just imagine. So I am excited we are doing this, and I believe that we have learned one or two things from here that we are going to take to our classroom. I don't know if you have anybody with any contribution, any suggestion, any question. We would like you to do that, put that in the chat box so that you know, we can also inspire ourselves right before we call it a day. Please, you can just hand over the meeting back to me. Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, I think everybody just saying that. Thanks, ma'am. Well done. Thank you. Very candid presentation. I learned a lot. There is mathematics in music. Yes, that's true. Okay, measurement can be related to sewing, baking, and trading. Ratio and proportion can be related to baking and cooking. Exactly. So, yeah, okay. Somebody's saying the network is bad here. Wow. Mr. Ajayi, I am truly sorry. It's on YouTube, and you can always, let me see if I can just share the YouTube channel here before we go from here. We can also share with our friends, those ones that missed the section. I would also suggest that if you have anything, any topic you feel that we can also learn from, like I said, this is Change Makers. We are learning from ourselves. Please reach out to me. Reach out to me that you would love to talk about this topic that is so germane in your heart. You want to inspire other educators. We would love to hear from you also. I have shared the YouTube link to this particular video, and I know that we will definitely go back to it in case you miss anything or you want to share with your friends. Mrs. Ogumola, we are grateful. We cannot thank you enough. This is so valuable, and you have given it to us on the platter of gold. Thank you very much, and God bless you. So next 2 weeks, next 2 Saturdays, we are going to be having another webinar. Let us make it a point of duty to join. We love you all. And please remember to take your professional development seriously. Nobody can take what you know out of your head, no matter what people do to you. Whatever you know remains, and these are things that you will need to forge ahead. Thank you once again, everybody. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
Goodbye. Oh. Thank you.
Okay, so pardon me. Okay, so the change maker, I kept saying the change maker. The change maker is a group of about 300, if we approximate, we are not up to 300 actually, educators, where we collaborate, where we, you know, we relieve tension, you know, we get to meet ourselves, the network and the rest. The last time we had a sip and paint event here in Yaba, and it was really awesome. So if you would like to join our group, I will also be sharing the link in case you're not on the group. I'll be sharing the link to the group here. But please, we are inviting only members that will be active. We want people to be active. Whatever you're sharing is so unique. You don't have to feel that others are there, they will talk. You are unique and we want to hear from you. Every voice matters. So I've shared the link also to let me share the link to everyone on the group. If you are not in our group, if you are willing to join our group, you can just click on the link and there you have it. We welcome you to our team. Don't hesitate. If you have anything to share with educators, please also reach out to me so that we can also have something like this and others will also learn from you. It is always good to share what you know. You become perfect. You become a thought leader in that field. I believe I've been able to convince you, like the speaker said, and not confuse you that it is good to be an educator. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.